Archive SecretStories. Opens restricted file SLP-06. The object arrived without a return address. A plain cardboard box. No markings. No sender. Inside, a single VHS tape. Black plastic. Dust on the edges. And one handwritten label. Subject 06. Do not watch at night. There was nothing else in the box. No documentation. No warning notice. Just those words. I digitally converted the tape. This is the recovered material. Section 1. Initial footage. The video begins with a room lit by a single overhead bulb. The camera is old, mid-80s consumer grade. Image grainy, colors washed into sickly green. A man sits on a metal chair, subject 06, approximately 30 to 40 years old, emaciated, barefoot, hands resting on his knees. He isn't blinking. For the first 12 minutes, he does not move at all. Not a breath deep enough to disturb his chest. Not a twitch of the eyes. Not a shift of posture. Just staring directly into the camera. At timestamp 001247, a voice is heard. Not his. A researcher, male, older, unseen. Day 30. Subject 06 has not entered REM sleep. Eye moisture normal. Vital signs stable. Cognitive degradation unclear. Subject 06 continues to stare at the lens. Pupils slightly dilated. Focus unbroken. At 001409, his jaw unlocks, very slowly, as if the hinge has rusted. He breathes in, not a gasp, not a sigh, a long, dragging inhale, like someone who's been underwater too long. His voice is faint. Don't watch. Then silence. His jaw closes again. The researcher doesn't react, as if this is expected, as if it's routine. Section 2. Sleep deprivation response. At 002352, the camera zooms in, very slow, probably automated. Subject 06's eyes are bloodshot. The sclera is yellow around the edges. The iris trembles. Not the eyelid, the iris. Science has no term for this movement, nor should it. A monitor beside him displays brainwave readings. The patterns are impossible. REM spikes while awake. Delta waves without unconsciousness. Alpha rhythm inverted. It is the electrical signature of someone dreaming while fully conscious. At 03210, the researcher asks a question. Subject, describe what you see. Subject 06 answers immediately, voice hollow, unemotionally precise. Something else is awake with me. A pause, long enough to cause discomfort. He continues. It hasn't blinked either. A faint clicking hum picks up behind the walls, like fingernails tapping inside the plaster, patterned, rhythmic, almost communicative. Subject 06 turns his head 1 centimeter toward the sound. It is the first movement he's made in 30 minutes. The bulb overhead flickers. Frame tears. 2 seconds of dropped footage. When the image stabilizes, Subject 06 is closer to the camera. He is not seated anymore. He is kneeling, face inches from the lens. But his eyes, they are not looking into the camera. They are looking past it, as if something stands behind the viewer. Section 3, the message. At 004733, the tape shifts. Glitch artifacting. Horizontal distortion lines. Subject 06 opens his mouth again, wider this time, too wide. The ligaments strain. A faint tearing sound is audible. His voice is not his own. If you're watching, you've stayed awake too long. The overhead light bursts. The room goes dark. Only the camera's low light amplifier remains active. Its field of view shifts violently, as if something brushed past it or grabbed it. A human silhouette appears for 1 frame, very close, mouth hanging open, eyes reflecting light in a predatory animal shine. But this figure is not Subject 06. It is taller, thinner, and its head tilts at an unnatural angle. The frame cuts to black. A message appears in red analog pixels. Do not continue this tape. The footage resumes anyway, not from the original room, not from the lab, but from a different location entirely. A hallway, narrow, carpeted, apartment style, lights flickering, camera still recording, footsteps approaching from behind the lens. And then, the camera turns. But it does not show the room. It does not show the experiment. It shows you, your face, your posture, your room's lighting, your exact placement before the screen, captured from an angle that does not physically exist. Then the tape ends with one final whisper, buried in static. Don't blink. End of Part 1. File SLP-06. The recovered footage after the final frame shouldn't exist. According to the digital log, there is no data beyond the point where the tape showed your face. And yet, the file continues. Not smoothly, not linearly. More like something is holding the tape in place, forcing it forward, frame by frame. Section 4. False time. The screen flickers back on. A timestamp appears. 02:17 a.m. The problem is, your conversion was done at noon. The original tape contains no internal clock. The device can't display a time that hasn't been encoded. And yet, there it is. 02:17 a.m. A dim room appears. It's not the lab, and not your home. A space that feels constructed, like a basement built from memory instead of architecture. Concrete walls, but the seams are wrong. Corners slightly too sharp. The light bulb hangs too low, and its shadow angles upward instead of down. The camera moves on its own, floating forward, as if someone is holding it, but their hands never appear. Breathing is present, but you can't tell if it's the camera operator or something behind the operator. The tape descends a narrow staircase. Every step creaks with a delay, as if the sound is choosing when to play. At the bottom, a metal door, identical to the one from the experiment room, but older. Rust pooled like dried blood around the hinges. The camera pushes it open. Creak. Inside, Subject 06 is waiting. Section 5. The Duplicate. He looks different now. Bigger, as if stretched outward. His limbs longer, neck thinner. The bones under his skin casting unnatural shadows. But the worst part is his face. His eyes aren't bloodshot anymore. They're completely black, not dilated, black, as if soaked in ink. He smiles. It looks rehearsed, practiced, almost polite. Quiet, echoing whisper. You weren't supposed to keep watching. He takes one slow step forward. His bare feet drag on the concrete. His head tilts, not to the side, back. So far back it's almost parallel with his spine. His throat opens. No vocal cords, no tongue, just darkness. From inside his neck, a new voice speaks. We don't sleep, so you don't have to. The camera jerks upward, as if lifted by the ceiling. The room spins. Subject 06 is suddenly closer. Too close. His face fills the entire frame. But the features aren't stable. They move, shift, melt, reform, like it's trying different versions of a human face to see which one frightens you the most. Section 6. The Mirror Frame. The footage cuts. A single frame flashes. A mirror. A handheld bathroom mirror framed in white plastic. Grainy, low resolution. Inside the mirror, the reflection is not the camera. It's you again. Same clothes, same posture, same faint light behind you. But your reflection's eyes are wrong. They don't blink. They don't focus. They stare somewhere behind the viewer, as if watching something approach. Frame cuts again. Section 7. The Archive Room. The camera now sits in an archival storage facility. Rows of shelves, metal, dusty, industrial. On the shelves, dozens of VHS tapes, all hand-labeled, all identical handwriting. Subject 01, do not view. Subject 02, do not view. Subject 03, do not view. There are 68 tapes, 68 subjects. Only 06 was mailed to you. Why? As the camera pans the room, one of the shelves collapses, metal bending like soft clay. Tapes spill onto the floor. The labels smear, letters melting. Audio distortion starts to repeat. Slow, childlike counting. 6, 7, 8, 9, restarting. 6, 7, 8, 9. The counting stops, and a whisper behind the camera says, "You're numbered now, too." Section 8. The Final Message. The footage distorts again. Color collapses into white noise. Shapes fragment into static snowfall. Then, clarity snaps back. Subject 6 stands in a perfectly dark space. No walls, no floor, just a void. His face is inches from the lens, but he isn't moving. He is frozen, perfectly still, like the first minutes of the tape. Then, without blinking, he says, "Sleep isn't the opposite of staying awake. Sleep is the boundary." He leans closer. His forehead bumps the camera, producing a dull plastic tap. The lens cracks, one thin fracture down the center. Subject 6 smiles wider, too wide. A tearing sound. "Now keep your eyes open. We'll watch you for 30 days. The video ends, but as the tape ejects, the camera microphone picks up one last whisper behind the viewer's shoulder. Barely audible. "Don't turn around."